Today I'm playing with different mediums to add texture to my large abstract paintings. Hi there, I'm Janine. I'm an artist and I share my creative journey on this channel. I've just started a new series of abstract paintings, including some larger ones. All I've done so far is to add some leftover paint as a base to work on. In the first layers, I want to add a lot of marks to create interest underneath the layers that are still to come. I thought I'd try some pastels on my paintings. I've got these heart pastels that I don't use very much. They're Rowney heart pastels, and they're all kind of earthy tones, which I would like to use quite a bit for this collection. I'm just going to start playing on my canvases and see what happens. I've got a feeling they might not work as well on the softer canvas because they are quite hard. They might work better on my wooden panels like these here, but I'm just going to give it a try and see what happens. And I can use them on the side as well, which makes the surface obviously quite a lot larger. And I very much enjoy always wiping it into the canvas with my hands, with my fingers. And as soon as I add water or wet media on top of that, that will just dissolve, I assume. At the moment it's giving some really nice brighter effects, which if they go away I can always add that with paint. Try this lighter one here, maybe even just more like marks like that. Oh, for now. I'm not so keen on this bit here, so I'm going to wipe it away with a big brush and some water. I really like this actually, so I don't want to do too much on it at the moment until the rest of the paintings have caught up with this one. Got this little broken off piece. And that's what your hands look like when you do that. And here was quite a bit of a ridge, so it's caught a lot more of the pastel on here, where the paint was protruding. I do really like this kind of orangey brick colour. And again, I'm not too keen on these marks, but they are probably just going to disappear as soon as I put some sort of wet media over it. It's very monochrome at the moment. I am quite liking the more monochrome palette of these at the moment. I will want to add some more colour. But for now I find it quite interesting. It is leaving a lot of dust on the floor. Maybe I'll add some of this really dark one here, in the areas where there are already a little bit darker bits. And at this stage I'm only really playing with the materials and not thinking about compositions, where I want my lights and darks, and if the colours really go together. And then I'll do a little bit on this one. I think this one out of the large ones is my least favourite so far. So I've got least to lose here. which should make it quite easy to play. I think at this point I'm going to get out my soft pastels and find some more of these blue-greeny tones and add those. This is quite a bit more intense, a bit more saturated, this blue. But that, I don't mind that. I think I want to add a bit more line work. It's a bit like glazing for me, just adding really thin layers of the soft pastel. And this is a very muted green. It's a Jackson's dark olive beige. Excuse my hands at the moment. It's almost grey. I did have a few of these very muted greens up here, so I want to add a little bit of that. And I want to mix it in with this more soft pink colour, because I'm not so keen on that here. Also laid over this quite bright blue. I want to add a bit of that on the wood panels as well. Add a bit of this green soft pastel here. Yeah, it reacts very different on the wood panel, which is much smoother, and it glides it a lot further and doesn't look as textured as on the canvas. But it will probably wash away at least as easily as on the canvas. I've got another soft bluish green, which is also Jackson's light grey green. Add a little bit here. That might be a bit too turquoisey, but I'll add it in a few places and then it'll just recede into the background after a while anyway, after more layers. I kind of want to make a bigger green shape here, so that's why I'm going over the earthy colours with the green here. Maybe even here. And I'll add a little bit of this harder pastel here to add some interest to this quite flat area. It's much brighter than I thought, but I think it will disappear once I add more paint over, or even fixative. I've also got these acrylic markers. They're by Liquitex. I've got a few colours. Got pink, actually what is it called? Light pink, parchment, unbleached titanium, cadmium yellow, and burnt sienna. They're all colours I really like and I use a lot, so that's why I got these. And again, I'm just going to play with these on the surface. I'll add a little bit more line work. They're the largest ones they make, these 8 to 15 millimeters, so you get a shorter side and a longer side. Got a feeling all the pastel is going to clog up these nibs, but I want to try it anyway. This is a bit different to the yellow I've got in my palette. I have a yellow ochre in my palette, and this is quite a bright one compared, and it actually looks very lemony. once you put it down, even though I thought it would be a much warmer yellow. Try a bit of the pink on here. And also this lighter one, which is unbleached titanium. I think this nib's already a little bit clogged. If you like this video, consider subscribing. I kind of want to disrupt this horizontalness a little bit. That's why I'm going across now. I haven't used the burnt sienna yet on these. I think I did the classic error of not pressing record. So I've added a little bit of the paint pen on here, the pink and the unbleached titanium. And I noticed that what I do like about this painting, apart from all the softness here, is that it's got one colour around the edges, which is almost like a frame. And I did have that in one of my previous series too, and I really love that. So I want to incorporate that in this series again, I think. And I am actually quite liking all the additional texture that the paint pen gives here. On this one I want to add a bit more colour, so I'm going to start with the yellow. The surface is very rough and it's really roughing up the nibs on here. I might not put any on this one because it's got a lot of pastel on there. But I will add some paint. You need to clear this up a little bit. Make some more space to think. One of the things I found in my sketchbook I really enjoyed when I prepared for this series was finger painting. I did I think only one sketch in my sketchbook, but I really enjoyed it and I really loved the look of it. So I will take some of these colours that I've remixed. This is like a yellow, orange and a light blue, and I'll start just dabbing a little bit and make some marks like that. Comparatively, my finger's quite small on these, so I don't know what the effect is going to be like. But again, these are only the early layers, so I like adding quite a bit of texture and then quite a bit of texture with my mark making. And then later on we can go in with bigger brushes and bigger tools that are more appropriate for this size of painting. It's quite therapeutic actually, because it's quite slow painting because you can't get very much paint on your finger. You can even get some water and smear that around. There's a little bit of pastel here, pastel dust, so that mixes in.
It's the way I know one day when I'm old, I might not have.
I also get a water sprayer. So this is a spray bottle that I've literally just put water in. It's quite good for getting an even mist of water onto a larger surface. And then I can blend this a lot better. And where the paint mixes with the pastel dust, kind of fixes the dust once it dries. I find that these smaller marks are quite a lot more energetic, whereas where I'm blending it is a lot calmer. Take some of this yellow colour. Quite different to this, to the hue of the yellow from the paint pen. But that doesn't matter. I think the paint pen is just going to shine through in very small bits.
I hope you never lose your place.
I really like these stripes that I've made down the side. Need to maybe stop this from happening somehow. A bit more blue. Then I'll spray first here and then go over with the paint in the hope that that will make it move around a bit better. Want some more blue here.
So give me your walls to break. There's nothing else I'd do than take all my love and lay it on you.
Quite like this actually. I had a little bit left here and can kind of stamp it on. Quite interesting. Right, I'll move on to the next one. Let's do this one where I haven't used any paint pen, but a lot of pastel.
Oh, for now, I've got you.
This is basically the same colour actually as this blue pastel that I thought was too bright. It's quite interesting how the paint reacts on the soft pastel, where sometimes it sticks better and sometimes less. And you can really feel it with your fingers. And now it's mixing again with the more rusty pastel dust. Fingers getting a little bit tired. The surface is quite rough and can really, like, a little bit like having sandpaper on your finger. So I might have to give it a break in a minute. And here's also mixing with the pastel. You can't really make very well, it's quite a lot of effort to put large areas down with this, with the finger technique, but it's great for just little dips, little marks. You can see that I experiment a lot in these early layers. I've got nothing to lose because I'm going to paint over most of it anyway, but painting this freely is really what gives my paintings their energy. If you've missed my previous video where I've added the base for those paintings, you can watch that video up here. Thanks and bye bye.